Y'all ready to rip Austin Dillon a new asshole?
Yep.
All right, cool. Let's do this thing.
Appreciate y'all giving me a intro bit to use.
Did you guys miss us? Welcome back to the Big Motor Small Break podcast. I'm Buddy Pulley, joined of course by my co-host, Push to Passes Seth Dolby, and the best FrontStretch.com reporter we've ever had on the show, Anthony Damcott. We're here. It's post Richmond. Austin Dillon's gonna cry after listening to this. What the hell is up? Welcome back, Seth. Are you so excited to be back talking about NASCAR?
Relatively, I guess.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Anthony, how was your weekend? How was your 2 weeks off?
It was great. Obviously I was at North Wilkesboro for the Cars Tour makeup race.
We did that.
I didn't get out of racing completely for the 2 week break, but we came back to a doozy, and this should be a fun episode.
Yeah, it should. Seth, what did you do with your time off?
I watched a lot of sprint car racing, went to a concert, and then that Wilkesboro race. I think I saw you guys.
You did.
Yeah. Okay.
You did.
I was pretty happy about that. I don't know who your friend was, Anthony, but he's okay, I guess. He shouldn't quit his day job though.
Yeah. He insisted that he come along for that race, and trying to be a good friend, try to take him along if he wants to come along. So
Such a good dude, man.
Yeah, that's just
Anthony's
so nice of you.
I try.
Top tier.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
And so, literally, we could say whatever we want about Chuck. He's never gonna hear it.
No, he's not. He does
not listen to the show.
Chuck does not listen to the show. No. My 2 weeks off. I didn't really think much about NASCAR. I focused a lot on late models and was preparing some stuff for the channel for next year. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the 2 weeks off.
I was a fan, to be completely honest.
Yeah. We needed it. We worked so hard on the show, honestly, guys.
I mean, whether or not we actually work hard or not, it gets to like a point where you're just doing it and you're like, okay, like, I don't know. I mean, I've gotten to the point probably because I have a bit of NASCAR fatigue, which probably has something to do with, maybe something that happened this race. I don't know. We'll get there. Stay tuned. But I mean, every off season I go, I just read all these people who are like, oh, I can't believe NASCAR for like 2.5 months. I can't watch it. And I'm just like, hell yeah, dude, fucking 2.5 months. And I don't have to think about this stupid shit.
2.5 months. Oh, yeah.
At the off season.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Chuck is, I guess, canon. He went to the Knoxville Nationals and he went to Wilkesboro, and he's been a busy boy, and he's still somewhere in BFE, Iowa.
Funny thing is,
so that's why he's not on the show. But if you ask us, he's done nothing this entire 2 weeks. He's, just sat on his ass and fished. That's all he's done.
The real funny thing is for shits and giggles, I looked at buying a ticket for Knoxville and just saying screw it and going. I kind of wish I had, but not just because Kyle won, but because I wouldn't have had to been in Richmond to see that.
Yeah. All right, let's get to it.
Yeah. You want to just jump in the part we're going to talk about? Or is there any frivolous bullshit y'all want to talk about first?
Well, I mean, there was an option tire. That was a thing.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Honestly, the big story of the race, we all know it. Daniel Suarez led a career high 93 laps. So, quick round of applause for me, amigo. It was a fun day to be a Daniel Suarez fan. Not so much there the last 15 laps of the race and the restart, but I was happy. That's it. That's all I have to say about the show. That's it. That's all I got. Great day. Awesome.
All right, but no, let's you and I talked about it a little bit last night, but let's go ahead and talk about the option tire. So you and I both agreed last night. Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I thought it was great, to be completely honest. Anthony, what do you think?
I agree. I think I felt like it worked better than it did at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. I think Daniel Suarez and Michael McDowell, for that matter, both proved just how far you could go on an option tire.
Yeah.
And we actually saw a tire that fell off once the 35, 40 lap marker hit in a run. So,
it was quicker than that.
Yeah. I mean, that was probably on the 35, 40 is probably on the, like, if you made it last. Cause I know, like, Daniel Suarez, once he got to the lead early on, Travis Mack and his team was kind of coaching him back to kind of conserve the tires.
Matt Swiderski.
Yeah. Something like that. I'm not a good journalist, guys. I just talk to drivers. No, that tire, honestly, I mean, a lot of drivers, I think, said that there's no reason why it shouldn't become the tire, because it was really fast on the short run, fell off in the long run. And I think that's what drivers are looking for in a tire. So I think it was a great success. And I think, obviously the finish happened, and we'll get to that, but I think I feel like there needs to be discussion on where to bring the tire next. I think we could see it once, even twice more in 2024, and maybe introduce it more regularly for 2025, because I think it worked out great.
Yeah. Daniel obviously drove, from 16th to the lead in a matter of, a handful of laps. Obviously they had a good car. He was the fastest in practice over a long run. And then late in the race, you got a perfect example of like what this tire can do. Cause the first round of the race, when Daniel drove to the front, like you said, Swiderski, they were telling him, back it down. You need to conserve your tire so we can get to the end of the stage. Whereas at the end of the race, we got to see the full potential of that tire. And he drove from a lap down, unlapped himself, and got all the way up to 6th with 2 laps to go. He probably could have gotten Bubba and Reddick in the last couple laps, but you saw he went from, it looked like he was going to win this race and then some, to, the 20 lap marker of that run. You could tell, okay, he's not going to get there. It's fallen off too much. So I like that we at least got to see the best example of what this tire does up against, some more long-lasting tires deeper into a run. That was good to see. I was, for one, against an option tire. I think that coming into this, I was like, this will be good to see what tire we should bring and how it performs. But not really a fan of an option tire, just period. I feel like the teams would get too much of a handle on it, and it would be, the strategy wouldn't. It wouldn't be as there wouldn't be as variety of strategies as we may think it would be. But after seeing it play out and everything, I think I'm definitely open to the concept of having an option tire in NASCAR.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think we should make this the standard at short tracks going forward. Just the differing strategies. Obviously, you mentioned Daniel Suarez early in the race. They took the option tire and catapulted them to the front, and then they had to kind of take that hit later in the race when everyone else put them on, and they had to work the strategy back out. And it wasn't going to work out in them winning a race, but it was going to work out in them being. If this was a regular Richmond race in the past couple of years, he was what, 12th, 13th before all that. He probably could have worked his way up to the top 10, but it would have been very difficult, barring some crazy strategy or just dumb luck or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were able to work it out in their favor to end up in a top, you said 6, probably top 5 finish that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. Not through, and like you said, the car was fast. It's just like you got burned in qualifying, and that's all you had, really.
And it all came down to the second run of the run after he took the option tire the first time, where if he could have held a little bit more of that track position, I think he would have been able to at least have a better chance of winning the race, because it all came down to that. He had to, when he got back to the lead, he had to use up so much tire, and it produced, it looked a lot like a late model race in a sense, the way they had to run it. And, we saw that at Bristol and everybody loved it. And this, I really hope, obviously there's the whole Austin Dillon thing. That's, the big story out of this, but I really hope people don't lose sight of the actual great thing that we saw out of a NASCAR Cup Series short track next gen race last night.
Which is not a sentence I thought we would say on this channel.
No, there's no reason why this tire should not be run at Martinsville. Why it can't be run? I mean, hell, run it at Phoenix.
Yeah,
why not? I mean, that would be a fantastic race, and that would be the entire team effort. That would be the whole, all the top teams' war rooms getting in there, getting involved in the pit strategy of this race. The entire organization of every team will determine a champion instead of whoever bust out of the fast pit stop or whoever can, stay out and hold track position.
Yeah, that's how you keep Phoenix as the finale. If that ends up being a success.
Oh shit! Okay, don't do it.
Never mind.
Don't do it.
harder tire.
Yeah, we need rocks. We need rocks at Phoenix. I will sacrifice and make it the worst Phoenix race possible if it means we can go back to Homestead.
We've already had 3 of those. I don't think that's going to work at this point. But
yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I pleasantly surprised is the word I'm going to use.
Yes,
for that.
Yes. Other than that, I mean, let's talk about it.
All right. Austin Dillon.
Question.
Hang on.
All right.
Here's the problem. Austin Dillon earned this.
Yes, he did. He earned this victory.
He really did. As much as it pains me to say that, he did. He was leading at lap 400.
Yeah.
On pace.
On straight pace.
Kyle Busch was 24th.
He was living life in the fast lane last night.
Yeah, he was. Kyle Busch was 24th. And Austin Dillon went up and passed Denny Hamlin.
Fucking Hamlin.
At Richmond. And fucking gapped him.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
2-week break, baby.
Undid it. And just undid it.
Well, I'm just saying the 3 team just stayed in the shop all 2 weeks, and everyone else took 2 weeks off.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like.
Did you guys know Bass Pro Shop is having a hunting sale?
I am aware of that now.
Yeah, sponsorship works. All right, so yeah, Austin Dillon earned what was this race called? The Cookout 400. He did not earn the Cookout 405 or whatever the hell it ended up being. Denny Hamlin brought up a good point. He said, Austin thanked God in his interview. So God had some role in this situation. What role did God have in this situation, guys? I gotta know.
Protecting Joey and Denny from getting killed by Austin Dillon.
Oh my God. Okay.
Protecting Austin from getting wrecked.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That was just one. That was an honest question. I was just kind of, I had no theories as to what role God played in all this.
All right. So let's just take this in two parts, because in my opinion, it is 2 separate incidents. And
yes,
I feel like you're having 2 different opinions about each incident is not 2 different opinions, and a different opinion about each incident is acceptable. So let's start with the Logano one.
Look, okay. I have a rant to go on.
You?
Okay. So this incident, or this phrase, win at all cost, has been thrown around like a $2 hooker for the past 10 years, ever since this elimination format has come into play. The best example we've ever seen at win at all cost is the Hail Melon. That is the perfect move. Ross put his balls on the dash and challenged other racers' desire to win, and exploited every opportunity that any given racetrack can provide to you. That is the exact definition of Earnhardt's phrase. It's not always the one with the fastest car, it's the one who refuses to lose. That's winning at all costs. This was chicken shit. This was fucking bullshit. Like wrecking Joey, that's fine. That was dirty. That's dirty. But you know what? That's fine. Joey had that coming, if you ask a lot of people. What he did to Denny Hamlin, he should be sitting on his ass next week. I don't think that's, a hot take by any means, but he should be sitting he should be warming the seat in his office at RCR where he's going to eventually be.
All right. So I slept on it.
Oh God.
I've kind of come down a little bit.
Oh God.
A little bit.
No.
Hang on. Would he have absolutely wrecked Denny on purpose if he got the chance? Yes. 100%. Did he?
Yes.
I don't 100% think so. Now, what he did, he should still be penalized for. Hang on. He admitted to wrecking Denny on purpose?
Yes, he did. He said it was a reactionary move.
Well, yeah, getting low. Look, hang on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Everything he did in the last third of this lap was completely reckless and endangered two drivers. Actually, the whole field, because he did it in front of the field. So whether or not the motion that he took directly caused Denny Hamlin to crash is irrelevant. It was completely reckless and endangerment, and it was absolutely actions detrimental to stock car racing, and he should be disqualified, and he should be sitting on his ass next week. So I'm in agreement, but I'm also softened up a little bit on it. Now, I'm so
disappointed right now. I'm so disappointed.
Dude, I kept rewatching it, and every time I rewatch it, I'm like,
he held the racing line.
Yes, he did.
They told Austin, wreck him. And
I'm aware of this.
Do? He wrecked him. He was going to
I'm
end
aware
up
of this,
but when
grass. I understand this, but when they come off the corner, he's still going with the dotted line. I understand that's not the racing line.
He's holding the racing line. Austin,
he's holding the racing line. I just said I think he should have been disqualified and suspended.
Anthony.
And then he was going to.
Anthony, go. No. I'm fucking pissed. No. You know what? You guys don't understand.
I was driving. I didn't watch it 47,000 times last night like you did.
I also didn't. I watched it live, and I watched it one other time after that. I knew what happened. We all knew what happened. You know why we all know what happened? Because we watched Austin Dillon try to send Eric Almirola through the fucking grandstands at Daytona. We watched him try to right hook Austin Cindric going into turn one at Daytona in 2022. We know what happened. He did this on purpose. He 100% right hooked Denny Hamlin. He took his ass out. He intended to take his ass out. He damn near admitted he'd take him out. He was instructed to take him out. Richard Childress said whoever told him to do it did the right thing.
I thought Richard Childress said no one said that.
He said if they did, they told him to do the right thing. That is a direct quote from Richard Childress.
Okay, I was just wondering. I'm not defending Richard Childress. Hang on. I'm not defending Richard Childress. I'm going to go off on that motherfucker here in a little bit. But
no, I sat in a car with Seth Dolby, who was ready to put down this sport forever. And here he is defending Austin Dillon.
No, that is not what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing.
No, you are grossly mischaracterizing my argument here. I don't think Austin Dillon is fucking competent enough to execute that move on purpose.
See him do it. We see him fucking do it. That's the only thing he can do. I have a fucking conniption.
Austin Dillon almost won at Southern 500 because Kevin Harvick was too stupid.
You son of a bitch.
I'm not wrong. Buddy's red in the face. What would have the? Never mind. I'm not going to finish that statement.
Yeah,
Please redact that from. Please strike that from the record book.
You want me to give my thoughts?
Yes.
Let Buddy cool down.
Yeah. God bless.
Um,
I'm beat fucking red right now. Anthony's damn tank top.
Buddy's ready to kill someone.
Buddy's ready to rip someone's freaking head off.
I'd have a fucking conniption, dude. Fuck you, Seth.
All right.
So I'll start with thing. I want to go back to Logano's post-race interview with TV because I think what he said was spot on. I understand bumping and running, and I understand that that Austin Dillon's season's on the line. Hell, his career might be on the line. However you want to, interpret that. Maybe he's done after this. I don't know, but I get, the old adage. I did what I had to do. I get that, but here's my thing. Let's forget that anyone other than maybe Denny Hamlin was behind the field. What was Austin Dillon's plan going to be once he ran in there and ran over the 22? He was going to completely miss the corner anyway. It's a miracle he even got back left to miss the 22 and get into the 11. It was a miracle. I mean, I don't like. He goes and sends it in there and runs straight over the 22, and he has way too much speed. He can't use the 22 as a brake, at least enough to slow him down and make the corner. He wasn't going to make the corner. He's, like I said, it's a miracle he even got down to the 11 anyway.
That's the only thing he's good at doing.
That's that's where I get hung up a little bit. It's like, what was the plan here? We all do it in video games and stuff like that. But it's a video game, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is real life. What was the plan going to be? If he had gotten any hotter into the corner, he would have been stuck behind the 22 because he was sideways in front of him, and the 11 would have gone on to win the race. So I'm a little baffled on that. And he takes out the 11 is basically his collateral damage, because I guess he held his line, but at the same time, what line was he going to take? Again, if we take the 11 out of the equation, he's basically going to come out of that corner in the middle of the straightaway. I guess it's not the straightaway, but in the middle of the front stretch, in the middle lane. He wasn't going to fade back to the top, got around the 22. He was going to come out in the middle of the middle of the track. So there, he'd already gotten by the 22 at that point. So there was no reason to be that low on the track. I get wanting to try to rub the 11, try to hold him back, make sure that he can cross the line in a photo finish. But it was, I don't want to say it was obvious. And obviously maybe we need SMT data to confirm it. But you can't take out one guy pretty intentionally and then turn around and say, oh, well, the 11 was just by sheer accident, especially when you're in this position of you need to win and you need to do what you need to do to save your season, save your career, whatever, save the team. I don't know, because we all know RCR, the dumpster fire. It was ridiculous that that he was just like, oh yeah, it was just kind of reactionary. There had to be some calculation involved, even if someone on his team didn't tell him to wreck the 11, because he can see the 11 going by on his left side and thought he's going to win, and I'm going to go back to 420th next week. So this is my one chance to win a race and basically make the rest of my season irrelevant. And so, like I said, he went into turn 3 with a plan that wasn't it was a plan, but it wasn't a plan, because again, if he hits the 22 any harder, he completely misses the corner and gets stuck behind the 22. He finishes 26th or whatever. Well, it's probably 12th because there were only 8 cars in the lead lap. But he finishes, outside the top 10 if he goes in any harder, because he gets stuck behind the 22 and blows the corner. And then, but he comes down and he's going to take the middle lane, leaving turn 4 when he's already past 22, instead of fading out to the racing line. Yeah, it was everything I saw last night was not right. And that's what frustrates me, and I'm sure we'll get to this, but I need to say it now before my head explodes. We talked about it for 399 laps, hell, maybe even 400 for maybe the entirety of regulation. Austin Dillon ran a perfect race. He did what he needed to do.
The best race he's ever run in his career.
Exactly. He did what he needed to do, and that was go out on speed past Joey Logano. I mean, he had great battles with Joey Logano all evening. Yep. And then he went out and passed the 11 on speed cleanly and checked out by like 3 seconds.
Yep.
And then the caution comes out, and even his pit crew, his pit crew could have easily, I mean, they're not used to pitting from the lead. They could have easily screwed up the final pit stop, and he restarts in 8th. And then he loses out on a chance to even pull whatever bullshit he did last night. So, like, for the first 400 laps, him and his team ran a perfect race, and he had a chance to win that race legitimately, but probably the first time in his career, and he absolutely, completely squandered it. And it's sad that that's what we're going to talk about instead of the fact that we have an option tire that works, and we had a guy that's 32nd in points go out on pure speed and show up the entire field and take almost a dominating win. Nobody's going to talk about that now. We're going to be talking about this bullshit, rightfully so, but we're going to be talking about this instead of the honestly the really good race that we saw last night.
Yeah,
I think ultimately what you said about the incident is kind of the point I think I'm trying to make, is that I don't think everything that I saw at the end of that race last night, none of that showed calculation. That showed, oh, fuck, I'm going to lose this race. I can't let that happen. I'm just going to do whatever the fuck. Because NASCAR has shown through the last 11 seasons now, they don't fucking care. They don't care what you do. Because you can just say, it's for the win, it's whatever. We have no fucking standard in this series for anything. There's no standard unless you are a lap down car getting lapped by a yellow and red 22 car. You are allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. And I've said this multiple times on the show. It's time to bring back driving standards. Like, I mean, seriously, it would not hurt the series to have some F1 level driving standards for at least a season. Like, it wouldn't hurt. It would try to kind of bring us back down to normal. A quote that was running through my head last night that I'm glad I wrote down was, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time to do it is today. The best time to fix driving standards was when Ryan Newman wrecked the dog fuck out of Kyle Larson to get 1 point to make the Final Four. The next best time is right now. We can change this. NASCAR, I'm so sick of Eldon Sawyer puking out these stupid, saying the dumbest shit. We don't want to be in the game. We don't in the business of whatever. We don't want to officiate is basically what he's saying. And then you got Jordan Bianchi, whom I don't love, but I love to not love, saying all the time, we don't want more ball and strike calls. We don't want more ball and strike calls. Dude, like, holy fuck. So yeah, let's just look like Hickory Motor Speedway or Bowman Gray in front of the world. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Dude, it's inevitable. If you're going to have black and white, guess what? You're going to have gray. It's just it's just going to happen. We're too hung up on things being black and white. Because, I mean, there's many things. I wrote this down. There's several things because they've never disqualified someone who right hooks someone. Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, the last two examples. They've never disqualified anyone for right hooking a guy. They've never not given them a playoff waiver. They gave Chase Elliott a playoff waiver for missing Gateway when he got suspended. So the precedent says that Austin Dillon should get suspended, but get to stay in the playoffs and keep the win. But this is a call to action that I've never heard from the garage. Like, this is more unified than, I mean, everybody from every team is saying something about this. Paul Wolf, he had a great quote. Great quote. If we're not racing anymore, tell us. Let us know. Let the whole world know. If we're not racing anymore, then that's fine. We'll do it. It's just, we got to know. I mean, this things like this are not going to attract more Shane Van Gisbergens to NASCAR. Like, this makes us look stupid. I am glad it was Austin Dillon that did this and not, say,
a good driver.
Yes, exactly. Because then at least there is a shred of dignity, or a shred of just, yeah, this guy's 32nd in points. This is the wanker of all wankers, the wobbler of all wobblers in the NASCAR Cup Series. He is 32nd in points. You are in a tier 1 key partner team in the NASCAR Cup Series, and you are 32nd in points. And honestly, if NASCAR wasn't, if we didn't have the parity we did in NASCAR, it should have taken what happened in the last turn of the last lap for Austin Dillon to win that race. But it didn't. It just took you getting a decent enough restart for you to go to 32nd in points to bump your way into the playoffs. But you suck, and you fucked up the restart. You could have moved Joey in turn 1 on the restart. Just move him. You're gone. It's over. You did it. Yeah, you moved Joey, but you know what? Do what you got to do. Yeah, but no, you had to make up for the fact that he sucks. He sucks so fucking bad. Austin Dillon is the worst driver in the NASCAR Cup Series that has won a race. Corey LaJoy in it right now.
Wow.
Jeff Gordon's the worst
Jeff
driver
was
in
thinking
NASCAR.
about that one.
Yeah. Jeff Gordon's the worst driver in NASCAR that's won a race.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Mid. Anyway.
Oh, kind of like Dale?
That's a whole nother discussion. That's just a dig for no reason. But I mean, he sucks.
Dig.
He's terrible. Like I said, he's the worst driver in the field that's won a Cup Series race. And he had to make up for the fact that he's the worst driver in the field in turn 4 at Richmond.
And Seth, you had mentioned about, like, we need driving standards. And here's what pisses me off, because we still have a rough driving penalty. It's enforced once every, 2 years. And they used their quota this year on Lane Riggs, Stephen Parsons at Nashville after the 75 ran him up the track. Held him to, I still don't understand that one. So you mean to tell me that Lane Riggs battling for 92nd with Stephen Parsons moves him up the track and gets held 2, 3, 4 laps? Who knows at this point? Who cares? But we can clean out 2 other guys who really did nothing wrong on that restart. It wasn't like the 22 moved the 3. It wasn't like the 11 moved the 3. We cleaned out 2 guys for no reason, and that is textbook rough driving. That's not. How is that not a rough driving penalty? Like, we have these standards, but why are we not enforcing them or enforcing them? And now we have a guy who's 32nd in points, who, of course, they got rid of the top 30 rule, and now we have a guy who's 32nd in points who could have easily earned the playoff spot. We saw what happened. And honestly, it just frustrates me that we have rules in place, and we just choose not to enforce them. Like I said, the rough driving penalty, I think I've seen enforced maybe 3 times since the turn of the decade into the 2020s. I think, if that, honestly. So
I don't even know if
they enforced it in Cup. I guess suspending Bubba and Chase was that.
Here's the thing, though. It's like a lot of people. We shouldn't have the Cup Series should not have these situations. You are supposed to be the best stock car racing has to offer. So, and I think NASCAR is hung up on these are the best in the world, like we shouldn't treat them like they're, like they're truck series drivers. Because I get it. You put a toddler in timeout, and that's what the rough driving penalty is. And I think a lot of what NASCAR is doing is like, these are the best in the world. They're not toddlers. We can't just put them in timeout. But God damn it, the best in the world screw up sometimes. Like the best in the world, you can't have rules for thee and not for me. It's the exact same thing. You can't have 34 fucking felonies and not go to jail because you're the fucking president. You can't be in the NASCAR Cup Series and just think you could get away with everything. You are still a NASCAR driver. You are still a human being. You're still a citizen. You need to fucking held to some sort of fucking standard. Like, there's a lot of parallels.
Buddy, just like in real life, if you're rich, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
I guess as long as you're pop special boy, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Only Austin though, because Ty is struggling right now in the truck series.
Ty Dillon's awesome, man. Don't talk shit about Ty Dillon sucks. Ty Dillon sucks.
God,
dude.
we think Austin sucks. Like Ty is just like so much worse. But
yeah.
Well, the credit where credit's due. Not to get too far off
topic. I don't think Ty would have done that.
I wouldn't have been even close to do that.
But also, like, at least he's trying to make his own way.
Yeah.
In that regard, he's not just relying on Pop to give him a ride and overstaying his welcome in a car that was popularized by one of the greatest drivers of all time, Dale Earnhardt. So I'll give Ty Dillon that much credit.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody breathe.
Everybody take a minute. I don't think I've ever been this pissed off on the show. I've been pissed off a lot on the show, but this is tough.
I get this upset at least 6 times a year, so
yeah.
Pretty much normal for me at this point.
Do we think they do anything?
No, I don't think they do.
Anthony?
Well, I don't think they will, but even if they do, they're not going to do what matters. Because here's the thing, what are you going to do? Fine them? Ooh, a fine. Pop pay that off really easily. Take points away? Great. They got rid of the top 30 rule. He's already dead last in points anyway. He's in the playoffs. What does it matter? You're going to suspend him? Well, he's still going to get a waiver based on past precedent. And then if he doesn't get a waiver, well, then that opens a whole new can of worms, sort of like the Kyle Larson situation with Coach 600. Then we got to go back to what qualifies as a waiver. Because why did Austin Dillon not get a waiver, but Chase Elliott did? So they're not going to do anything that
I think
if they do penalize them.
Here's the thing. My heart says they need to fucking disqualify him and take him out of the fucking playoffs. But the logical human being in me, they need to suspend him. They need to let the win stand. They need to give him a waiver. And then during the offseason, they need to overhaul the waiver policy. They need to...
And the driving standards. And the playoffs. And the top 30 rule.
Okay, we're tackling one thing at a time. Okay.
Baby steps.
This is Congress. We pile a bunch of shit into one bill. Okay, come on, man.
Okay. All right. They need to overhaul the waiver thing. I said this literally to you last night. So we don't have the Kyle Larson situations happen again. We don't have these situations happen again.
You know how you fix it? You just get rid of the win and you're in policy.
I mean,
it's that simple.
I know that.
You won't have trash like Austin Dillon taking up a playoff spot for 3 weeks every 2 years. You won't have what we saw last night because Austin Dillon's not going to drive in from 77,000 car lengths back to wreck Joey Logano when it doesn't matter. He's not going to make the playoffs anyway. You don't dangle that carrot in front of him and be like, hey, come get it. Come get it. And then he does it and you go, oh shit, I didn't think he was actually going to do it. When I was sitting here in the grandstands, I was like, oh yeah, we wrecked him.
Yeah.
Like, I think down the backstretch, I was like, I was like, can he get there? I don't know, but he's going to
I
try.
didn't think he could, but
I knew he was going to try at the very least.
Yeah.
Because it's Austin Dillon. That's what he does.
And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. And maybe I'm whatever for this. Maybe I'm waiver for this. If he doesn't right hook Denny Hamlin, I don't have a problem with anything he did.
Oh no, I have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it because I am trying to stay consistent. I've said for years, give Joey Logano back what he gives to everybody else. He drove in 7 car lengths too deep at Darlington in 2022 and wrecked the fuck out of William Byron. Austin Dillon did the exact same thing, and there wasn't a wall to catch Joey Logano. There was a wall to catch William Byron. I wouldn't have had a problem with it if he would have just wrecked Joey Logano. But then you right hook Denny Hamlin on purpose after you were instructed to, and you were gonna do it anyway because you're fucking Austin Dillon.
Let me clarify what I meant. I wouldn't have been upset that he wrecked Joey Logano, but from a optics perspective, I would have not been for it. Just the way it happened. If he was a car length back from Joey and went in there too deep and hit him, sure,
Nope.
but he's just too far back for me.
Nope.
No love lost between me and Joey Logano. Don't care. He's had this coming for basically since he got hit by Matt Kenseth, which was almost 9 years ago now. So he's had this one coming for a long time. I don't really care, but that's not what I want to see. I don't want to see Joey Logano do it. I don't want to see Austin Dillon do it. I don't want to see Kyle Larson do it. I don't really care who. I don't want to see that.
Here's the thing.
But it's not a penalizable offense at that point, I don't think.
Here's the thing. Joey Logano, guess what he didn't do after 2015? He didn't touch Matt Kenseth. And he was pretty tamed for a long time. And then this new crop of drivers came in that he didn't like because they were coming in and intruding on his court. And he went back to his old ways, wrecked the shit out of William Byron, and, he went back to being Joey Logano. And you know what? If it takes Austin Dillon to, put him in his place, that's fine. The thing that sucks is Austin Dillon had to go and be Austin Dillon and right hook the 11 car, and then it's a mute point. Then it doesn't matter. Because now you're just the biggest, waiver there is. I don't know.
Well, it's a shame too, because fans of the sport are always like, "Oh, we need an exciting finish," and had the race gone green, it wouldn't have been an exciting finish.
Yeah,
Austin Dillon would have won by 3 seconds, and we do. I mean, the finish was exciting, but now now we're all up in arms because of how it happened. Which again, I mean, it's warranted, but at the same time, I find it funny that we're all like, "Oh, we need these exciting finish." We can't have NASCAR ending, under yellow and having, this is what's going to keep, this finish is what's going to keep overtime. And this finish is what's going to keep the win in your own policy. Because now NASCAR is like, oh, wow, that was awesome to see what drivers would do. And any penalty that comes of it, if that happens in the championship for the championship, what penalty is going to come after that? Okay, they're going to suspend them. But for what? I mean, yeah, they could suspend him for the 500, but that's next season. I won the championship now. You can't take the championship away from me. So
they're going to suspend him for the Clash.
Yeah, for his duel at Daytona. Yeah. So as fans want exciting finishes, but that's kind of that's the wrong side of exciting finishes. Is we had whatever the hell we saw at the finish of Richmond.
NASCAR clearly wants this. This is what they want. It's been apparent for 10 years that this is what they want.
Far is gonna make.
It shows everything that's wrong with the NASCAR Cup Series currently. But it's exactly what they want, and it's not going to change, and it's probably going to get worse. Because somehow NASCAR can watch that and be like, yep, that's what we want. Because here's what they really want. They ultimately don't want to see someone of the caliber of Austin Dillon wreck 2 championship contenders to win a race to be knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. Probably they don't necessarily love that idea, but everyone, including us, is talking about it. NASCAR is of the opinion that all publicity is good publicity. And while we're smart enough to know that's not true, I don't think NASCAR is.
I do want to bring something up. Denny Hamlin brought this up last night. He said, I mean, if we're mad about it, make it as loud as possible because they listen. They sometimes listen. The whole world was mad at Bubba Wallace for hitting Alex Bowman at Chicago after race. That should not at all been a penalty, and it was a penalty. It wasn't even a penalty for Chase Elliott for doing basically the same thing because we didn't talk about it enough. They penalized Bubba because we talked about it enough. They penalized. I'm trying to think of another. There's been another example literally this year. I can't think of it at the moment, but it has been proven that if there's enough of an uproar and there's enough of a call to action, NASCAR will do something about it. So I don't think they are, but I'm hoping maybe, just maybe, this is enough for them to do something unprecedented.
The problem is NASCAR has never and will never admit they're wrong on anything. And they've already come out and said that this is good. That's fine. It's on the line, basically. What did Elton say? It came close to the line.
On the line, but we got to review everything.
Yeah, so sure. I just feel like them making any sort of penalty, whether it's suspension, but keep the win, stay in the playoffs, anything to that regard, a fine, anything says, oh, wait, we were wrong. And I just don't see them coming out and saying that.
Anthony, you got anything else?
I mean, well, and part of it is like, it goes back to Pocono, right? Corey LaJoie junks the 8 and 10 cars, and what did Elton Suarez say? We're going to talk to them. We're going to talk to them. They know they were wrong. We're going to talk to them, but no penalty. We're going to talk to them and make sure that, that doesn't happen moving forward. And I mean, it was clear as day. I mean, like, he junked 10 cars. I mean, 10 cars wasn't the intention, but he at least junked 8. But like, so like, if they're going to do that for something, that destructive, imagine this for the win. Yeah. Let's just say they're just like, oh, they know they were wrong. Or what did Brian France say at one point? The quintessential NASCAR.
Joey Reckon mad at Kansas.
Yeah. That's the excuse they'll give or something like that. I hope that they see how negative it is, because I don't know, when you get to a point, NASCAR fans can be very divided. But when you get to a point where you are, I know, groundbreaking concept, but if we're at a point where there are people who despise, and I mean despise, Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, and even they are coming to the defense of Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano, that's saying something. That's saying something big. Yeah. So I hope NASCAR is actually monitoring it. What is, Ferrari F1, we're checking, I hope they're looking at this, because we are, it's hard to unite NASCAR fans sometimes, but this seems like a pretty unified opinion that was bullshit. Yeah. And I hope that they can come together and do something about it.
It is the box they put him in, because Austin Dillon was the guy calling for Austin Cindric to get suspended after Gateway, after he apparently right hooked Austin Dillon, which that didn't happen. And here we are here, and Austin Dillon did something more egregious, but there's enough of a gray area to where he felt like he can get away with it. So I guess
hope NASCAR is aware that this is going to happen again if they don't do anything. Yeah. This is going to, like, if we have, say, a green, white checker or 5 laps to go restart at Martinsville, this is going to happen unless you only have your actual respectable drivers up there, if you have someone who's not quite that caliber up there, this is going to happen. You can easily overdrive the entry of Martinsville and do exactly this. It's going to happen.
It used to be a bump and run, but now it's how bad do you want it? And if you want it bad enough, if you want to be a Cup Series champion, this is the playbook. If this is okay, that's how you do it. That's how you be a Cup Series champion right there.
This is the equivalent of wanting to be a millionaire so bad that you rob a bank. And when they ask why you did it, you say, just wanted
what
it,
I had
man.
to do.
I did what I had to do.
Yep. That's a very good analogy. Yeah. I think all we had. Anything else to talk about?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Seth, you said you had a rant on. You said you were going to go off on Richard Childress.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And I'm curious
so
to know
glad.
what that's
Thank
about.
you.
I'm so glad you
Yeah.
brought this up. Okay, so when Buddy was gallivanting around the parking lot and I was waiting on him last night, I was reading. Obviously, Richard Childress came up to the podium and, started spewing regular Richard Childress bullshit. I didn't hear them say wreck him.
He's unfit to be an owner in the Cup Series.
Yes. No, 100%. We will be a better series when he finally retires. Or whatever.
And Austin Dillon takes over? Sure.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Better than what it is now? Yeah. Perfect? No. But hang on. The amount of media, professional media, that were playing defense for Richard Childress when he was, let me make sure I don't mince words about this, blatantly fucking lying about what he heard and the situation. Okay? The amount of professional journalists playing defense for this guy was, in a word, disappointing. In 2 words, fucking disappointing.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. The state of journalism, thank God we have Anthony here, a real honest journalist. If you want real good journalism, follow Anthony. He was on fire on Twitter last night. My favorite follow.
I was
hot last night.
I want to give a call to Matt Weaver.
You're hot
too.
every night.
I want to give a call to Matt Weaver because the question was asked. Oh my God. Anyway, the question was asked to Richard about the wreck him thing. And Matt Weaver pulled it up and showed Richard and said, what do you have to say about this? So shout out to Matt Weaver.
Yes. Shout out to Matt Weaver.
Late model guys do it better.
Yep.
If you haven't watched On Tour from last week at Wilkesboro, please watch it.
Yes. Yes, you should.
Yes.
I didn't watch all of it, but I'm sure it was great.
You should watch it again. As should you, Anthony.
Did watch it. It was good.
You should watch it again. Anyway, continue your rant on.
That's pretty much it. Pop is not fit for Cup Series ownership anymore. And honestly, I'm kind of sick of the fact that him being friends with and owning Dale Earnhardt's car, going on 23 years ago now, entitles him to be a toxic asshole for the rest of his career. He's kind of a piece of shit. I'm going to be completely honest. I might be going a little far off the, I might be straying a little far from the ranch at this point. So that's probably where I'm going to end it. But, yeah, not a fan. Yeah, I'm going to stop. Yeah. That's pretty much.
I'm just, and the thing I'm ticked off the most about Richard Childress, motherfucker, don't tell me what I can and can't believe from the internet.
Like
free country.
Nah.
Well, give him a benefit of the doubt that maybe he didn't hear it on the radio because he was jumping up. I don't know. If you give him the benefit of the doubt that he personally didn't hear it on the radio as it was happening, the fact that he saw what happened and then immediately goes on the radio and says, Pop's proud of you. Like, that gives some into a world where he thinks that's okay. Right?
Yep.
So that's kind of how I see it. Yeah, he can deny that all he wants, and maybe he didn't hear it. Maybe he did, but like to jump on the radio and say Pop's proud of you after seeing a move after seeing him go in the corner second, come out of the corner second, car, and then cross the finish line first. Not hard to deduce what happened. So to go on the radio and say Pop's proud of you is telling in and of itself. But he also called Sheldon Creed the worst driver he's seen for also trying to be aggressive to win his very first Xfinity race to make championship 4. I don't know where the standards are at RCR, but if I'm Kyle Busch, I'm saying I'm leaving. Goodbye. See you. I'm out.
Yeah. And then to say if he did tell him to wreck him, then he did the right thing. I don't know. Whatever.
No, if I'm Kyle Busch, I'm pissed after this. Like, how did that nutsack get that good of a car and I'm still stuck here in 24th?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Somehow anyway. I think he got like 12th or something. So like,
really?
I mean, yeah. I think, I don't know. The official results are kind of wacky because the caution came out.
Yeah.
So they gave Hamlin second, but he crossed the line like 4th. So I'm
really quick. I swear I've watched the replay a bunch of times. I swear to God, Denny Hamlin's not second when the caution comes out. Maybe that's one of those ticky-tacky.
When they hit the button, not when the lights come on.
He's like so clearly not second though. Like he's like a car length behind the 45 car.
Who knows?
And maintaining pace car speed or maintaining speed, he was in the wall. Like he didn't maintain speed.
So if that's the case, then Kevin Harvick should have been declared the leader at Daytona in 2022.
Oh, well, I'm still pissed that Brennan Poole's not the Xfinity winner at Talladega from a decade ago.
Yeah.
Was that long ago already?
16.
It was like 2016, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We're getting old, boys. We're getting old.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sundress and dumbass.
My sundress is the 2 tire compounds.
Yeah. My sundress is 1, Daniel Suarez.
I'm shocked.
Drove a great race. I'm proud. I have another one. Kyle Busch. Because motherfucker, Ricky Bobby, he's in the car cutting with a pair of scissors, cutting his cast under caution because it was uncomfortable or something. He literally's in the car under caution, using a pair of scissors, driving around with a pair of scissors, trying to cut his cast.
That doesn't sound safe.
It is not safe at all, but he is fucking. That's more downward than anything that 3 car did that night.
You ain't the real 3.
Yeah,
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Anthony, who you got for sundress?
Well, different. I'm the Truck Series guy for front dress, so I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the Truck Series race, which was actually a pretty good race for Truck Series standards, in my opinion.
I've been told.
I'm going to go with Daniel Dye. I think he is the first driver to bump his way into the NASCAR playoffs after starting the race outside of the playoff cut line, and I think that's in all 3 series. Don't quote me on that, but at least the Truck Series for sure.
That's the playoff era.
Yeah, in the current era. Yeah.
Yeah. So he told me after Indy, because I talked to him after his run at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Xfinity car, and he said that because I asked him how he was going to refocus after the Olympic break to go race his way in the playoffs. He said, I'm not gonna refocus. I'm gonna stay focused, and that seemed to hold true. And he went out and did his job, took advantage of a faltering Tanner Gray, raced his way. He's going to go playoff racing. How far he's going to make it, I don't know. We'll see. But really, really good performance from him to race his way into the playoffs.
That's a fucking journalist right there.
Hell yeah. Honest integrity. Anthony Damcott, 2024.
Yeah.
Dumbass. I mean, like I said, I'm going to jump over a table, kick a baby in the face, and strangle a possum to pick the lowest hanging fruit. So I'm going to go with NASCAR for their officiating and Richard Childress for being Richard Childress.
I'm going to go with little Dick Stenhouse himself, because why the hell do you got to wreck Ryan Preece for 95th place? And and
I'm surprised we didn't
this.
talk about that.
I
It's
wasn't
so
gonna let
standard.
that slip.
I didn't even have a rant about why we should not have overtime in this. I'm just so like over it at this point.
I don't understand what happened there. How many times is Ricky Stenhouse going to cause a caution within the last 2 laps of race? I feel like it happens every week. It's almost always him.
I'm really proud of Kyle Busch for not causing an accident.
He did a great job.
About it.
He did a great job.
Piece.
Yeah. He didn't want to break the other wrist, I guess.
Pop would have. Never mind.
Yo, old yeller Kyle Busch. Is that what you just said? He's gonna old yeller Kyle Busch? Is that what you just implied?
Is it what I implied?
I don't know. They got a hunting cell at Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, he get everything he needs. Kyle Busch is gonna end up in the wildlife room at RCR.
This is this Alaskan bear I shot back in 1984. You can't do that shit no more. This is my driver. You could never shoot that, but you know what? He wasn't Pop special boy.
Shit in the bucket in 2024.
Wow.
Genuinely the most terrified I've seen, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, his jaw dropped. That was insane. Is it? I don't even know. Is it?
That's you.
I don't know.
It's your turn, Anthony.
I don't know. Should I give it to Seth? I'm not gonna give it to Seth.
I accept that. I would accept that.
I mean, he's not. Look, he jumped over the table. He didn't clear anything off of the table. He put it all out there.
He was unintentionally knocking shit off the table. He didn't mean to. He just couldn't. He just couldn't help himself. Let's see. My dumbass. Again, I'm going a little bit outside the box. Obviously, I think we talk about the low hanging fruit. Obviously, it's going to be Austin Dillon, RCR, all them. But these Joe Gibbs Racing engines, man.
Okay, I'm glad you said it.
I don't know what is happening over there at Toyota, but at Joe Gibbs Racing specifically, because it seems like a weekly occurrence where we have a JGR motor, and it's not even in the Cup Series. In the Xfinity Series at Indianapolis, Sheldon Creed blew a motor in practice. And then he said after the race that the backup motor they had wasn't even a Speedway motor. So it's not even just the Cup engines that are
what the hell
shitting themselves. It's the Xfinity engines too. It's the entire program. There's something going on with the engines, and we saw it again at Richmond. We had a 2-week break for them to diagnose it, regroup, try to figure out what the problem is, and then here we are, first race back, and Martin Truex Jr. has an engine failure. Another engine failure for Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing. I don't know what's going on over there, but something like they're not going to go far in the playoffs if this keeps up. Any of the Toyotas.
It's been pretty much every race for like at least the last 5 races.
Yeah,
that there's been a JGR.
I mean, at least it wasn't Ty Gibbs this time. I mean, Ty Gibbs seems to get the short end of the stick for the engines.
I think the only one who hasn't is Denny now, because Bell at least had one.
Yeah, Bell had the one at Gateway.
That one at Gateway. Yeah. Hamlin's the only one, and no, that's not even true because he blew an engine at Sonoma on lap 2.
Oh yeah.
All of them have had engine issues.
Okay, yeah. Wow, this is developing.
Oh yeah, that's my dumbass is Toyota. Like, figure it out, bro.
Part of me still thinks that they're just doing something like experimental wise. Now,
it could be.
Why you would put those motors in the guys who are not locked in the playoffs doesn't make sense. That's the only reason that I think that maybe that I'm off base. But like, it's so out of character.
Well, look, for me personally, this affected me because I picked Martin Truex Jr. to win Richmond, and he finished dead fucking last. So that's awesome.
Well, that's
I thought
your
I had
fault
one
for putting
in
your
the bag.
faith in Martin Truex Jr.
I know, dumb son of a bitch.
In
I
an
can't wait for
even
him to
year.
retire.
Martin is like Joey Logano. He's only good every other year. We've seen this.
It's true. So yeah, I picked Martin Truex. Seth picked Austin Cindric, and Chuck with an impressive 18th place finish out of Chris Buescher won the picks at Richmond. Well, maybe Anthony did. Where did Joey end up?
That's a
Probably
great question.
He might have been the last car on the lead lap, which would have put him ahead of Buescher.
Anthony might have won, but Chuck won, and then the guys running for points.
He finished 19th, so Chuck won.
Wow. Chuck Folsom has a golden horseshoe stuck up his ass.
He really does.
Yeah, Abby put it up there. I should have said
can make
that.
it GSA with it in there.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Sir, is that made out of glass?
Hey, you make it through. Yeah, God. Anyway, where are we going next? Michigan. Okay.
Wait, hang on. Chuck sent something in the group chat. Did he send a pick?
Who are you picking, Anthony?
Who am I picking? Let's see.
He did not.
It's hard to go against Ford there. Because it's Michigan. Honestly, I would probably say that this is a race that Chris Buescher could win. So I'm going to go with Chris Buescher. He needs a good turnaround. He was 1,000th of a second away from winning a race this year and hasn't yet, but his owner has. So I think it's time he gets back to victory lane. I think Chris Buescher wins in Michigan.
Seth?
Anthony's doesn't count.
No,
and I've written down Chris Buescher the last 2 weeks, and I'm finally going to get to use him.
There you go.
Yeah. I wrote him down. I wrote him down for this week, and then Chuck took him. So,
I'm gonna pick Joey Logano.
I swear you picked Joey Logano already.
I don't think I have. I don't see him anywhere on my list.
I'll just start writing these down.
Yeah, we should.
We do.
No,
I have all my picks written down.
I have
like
them,
make a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do.
I have not picked Logano.
Okay. May he blow up. May his knife chip and shatter.
So anyway,
yep.
He is going to blow up. He's going to have a meltdown and junk to 3. I'm kidding. He's not going to do that because NASCAR will suspend him.
Brad Keselowski did it that one time. He didn't get in trouble.
No, true.
It's true.
That did happen. That's all I got.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the Big Motor Small Belly podcast. I've been Seth. He's been Buddy. And he's been Anthony, a.k.a. Chuck from... what would the opposite of wish be in this? I've been thinking about this for too long. Anyway.
I don't know.
Go fuck yourselves.
Go fuck yourselves.